Did you know that the judgment seat of Christ is a terrifying thing if you're not ready for it? It's a terrifying thing if you have been buying... See, our time, there's a river of time running by each one of us. It runs at 60 minutes an hour. Okay? It's time. It just flows by us. And from that river of time, we can redeem, we can buy moments, and we can purchase something with those moments. And if you're purchasing, dipping in that river of time, and if you're buying stuff made out of paper, cardboard, you're getting stuff made out of wood, you're buying a few straw things, and piling them all up in your wagon, the judgment seat of Christ is very terrifying. Because everything that you're spending your time on is going to burn up. And what's amazing is Paul just couldn't stop thinking about this. He kept saying, I know that what I do with my time is going to be tested by fire. And so he'd pick something up in life, some pursuit and some activity and some time investment, and he'd pick it up and he'd look at it for a while and say, boy, that's good. Not sin, because I don't want to do anything intentionally to sin against the Lord. But he says, that's too light. That's going to burn up. And I'm going to put that back. And he was always measuring what he purchased with his time. Now, see, we can't 100% live every moment in this constant state of being like, a martyr or something. We still have to go through life. But see, you can redeem work time, you can redeem family time, you can redeem marriage time, you can redeem school time. If you're saying, Lord, I have to study. But wouldn't we love to say all that study is just paper and burn up? Well, I'm not going to do that. I by the way, I was a professor for long enough. I had students that tried to pull that on me. They said, oh, no, I was praying. I said, great, good, but if you don't do this time, you get an F. Even if you were praying, you have to turn your paper into school, in seminary and in college, both the classes that I taught. I said, you should be praying, but you should be doing your work at the same time. And so we can pray and redeem time while we do our everyday work. For example, my father worked for 46 years at Oldsmobile in Lansing, Michigan, in the same building. And he had to be there at 6 o'clock every morning, and he worked until 4 in the afternoon, or whatever 10-hour days they had back then. And he redeemed the time. Not every moment. He used to tell me some of the stuff he did. He created this little thing for the drinking fountain, and it amplified the drinking fountain. Instead of it going, it went. And he was using General Motors equipment, too. Good thing he's in heaven. But he would make these little things, and he would walk around. They were just little attachments, and he'd look, and he'd stick it in the drinking fountain. Then he'd go over there and lean against the column and sip his coffee. And the first guy coming up would put his face, you put your face right down next to that thing like this, and they would hit that, and it'd go right in their ear. And he said he choked on his coffee so many times, laughing. Now, that part will burn up. He'll be laughing and laughing in heaven. And the Lord might have a little twinkle in his eye, because I can see that we're supposed to have fun. But don't spend your whole life squirting people at the drinking fountain, wasting your time. And you know what I mean. Okay, let's go through the Bema seat of Christ, because there are two elements to this. Verse 9, we should have an ambition that consumes us. That's what he says in verse 9. So the first half is, we should have a consuming ambition. And you see Paul describing that. He says, we make it our aim. It's my ambition. This consumes me. Whether present or absent, I want to be well-pleasing to him. So Paul thought about that. Everything he did, he was consumed. It's kind of like the Weight Watcher people. Do you ever see them? Once they really get into all this, they're counting. Let's see, that's a 7. And I don't know anything about it. I don't know how you count, but you know what I mean. I think you get 100, and each one, they know how many it is. And you see them, and they go, oh, I want that, but it's a 12, and I can't get it, And, an apple is only 4, and so they're always doing that. Now, what it is they are consumed with the goal to get to this level, whatever it is. Paul was the same thing. He was a spiritual Weight Watcher, or whatever you want to call it. He had an ambition that was consuming. And then, that's based on verse 10, which we'll look at, and that is an appointment that is constraining. This consuming desire for him was because he was constrained by the fact that every day he was getting closer and closer and closer to standing in front of the judgment seat, the Bema seat of Christ. And Paul thought about that. Now, it could be that you think about it 10% of the time. You'll be happy that you do. Some of you might think about it 15% of the time. Boy, you'll be happy. What I'm really troubled about is the people that don't even think about it. They're just blissfully going through life, acting like this is all they're here for. It's just to have the most fun and the most comfort and relaxation and just go through life enjoying it all. Paul said, no, we labor. We long for this appointment.